Okay, so this is the how I use an axe video. I've hesitated doing this for a long time. I've had a lot of requests for it, and I haven't wanted to do it because I didn't feel like I was experienced enough with an axe. I have only used an axe for this type of work for the past probably 3 years. I learned most of it on my own. Some of it I learned from Iowa woodsmen, and so I don't feel that I'm qualified to teach this. You'll notice most of my videos aren't how-to videos. I don't feel real qualified as a teacher, so I just like to show how I do things, and you can take what you want from it or not. Throw the rest away, whatever. But the reason I decided to go ahead and do it is for a couple reasons. One, there isn't a whole lot of axe use videos out there. There's some, and most of them are really good. The other reason is because basically I've seen recently a lot, and I've seen it the past year or so, a lot of experts out there, a lot of guys who claim to be axe experts, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to learn from axe experts, but I'll tell you the truth straight out, none of them have stepped up to the plate and taught anybody anything. All they've done is criticized, and I don't like that. So this is going to be something that I want to show people what I do. I'm at best a amateur axe user, and so I'm not the one who should be teaching this video, but the guys who supposedly should be haven't stepped up, so I'm going to. There is no magic to this. I wasn't born with an axe in my hand. I haven't used one for my whole life, and all that you hear from those experts. I had very little experience with an axe before this. We use chainsaws around here to cut things down. Just the way it is. It's the modern age. This is just a stick with a sharp, heavy object on the end. And with all sharp objects, you need to observe the safety rules. Now that's all there is to what I'm going to show you. Now there is a lot of danger in felling or cutting down trees, say larger than your leg. I'm not going to show any of that. If you want to learn to take an axe or take a tree down bigger than your leg with an axe, then you need to seek out a guy who in your area who will show you how to do that. Taking down trees for firewood or for profit or whatever is fun. It's fun, but it's also very dangerous, and you do have to know what you're doing there. So in light of that, I won't be showing anything like that. So I want to encourage you, if you're out using an axe, don't be self-conscious about it. Just think about what you're doing. Observe the safety rules of sharp objects. Alright, first things first, when you take your axe mask off, always secure it. I always put it in my pocket, because you'll lose these things real quick. I've lost a lot of them. I'm going to take down this little bitty old tree here. What I suggest is, if you're out camping, there's not a whole lot of need to take anything bigger than, say, thigh thickness. If you don't take anything bigger than that, you should be relatively safe. Thigh thickness can kill you, but it's not as risky as taking down something bigger, say waist size or something. You don't need anything that big, really, in most cases. What I usually stick with, unless I'm going to make a long fire or something like that, is about wrist thickness, forearm thickness, somewhere in there. Now this again is for a hardwood environment. For softwoods, I'm sure you're probably going to need something bigger, but hardwoods, forearm thick, will do a great job of heating you all through the night. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is, remember, we always talk about safety, is you want to clear out anything that's in your way. It might cause you to trip. If you have to get away from a tree, whatever. Anytime you're swinging an axe, you want to make sure your swing lane is clear. Nothing overhead, nothing to the side. Make sure you rotate your axe fully around, blah, blah, blah. Make sure there's nothing in the way. Common sense, right? Next thing a lot of people don't talk about is more than likely, if you're out here, you're going to be cutting dead wood. And a lot of times you're going to run into the tops are going to be dead on these trees and rotted. So you want to give them a good shake. Make sure nothing big is going to come down on you. Probably want to do that with the axe out of your hand, just in case you have to move. Just be aware of that, be ready for it, have an escape plan. Okay, now you'll hear guys tell you that on a dead tree like this that wobbles a lot whenever you hit it, you don't want to hit it up high, because you're going to lose a lot of your force, and that's true. But you know what? Who cares? If you're going to get through this thing in 2 whacks and push it over, What do you care if it vibrates a little bit? You know how you work. If it's going to be a problem, then drop down lower, or there's not going to be as much vibration. If it's not going to be a problem, go ahead and get her done. All right, so whenever you are cutting low, I like to go ahead and get down on my knees, just so I have less of a chance of driving something through my shin. You want to hit about at a 45. Okay, there's one cut. Go from the same thing, go to the top again. Okay, see how all that debris is falling from the top? You want to watch out for that. Okay, now there's no reason to keep cutting this tree. Just push it over. Maybe. Alright, now whenever you are pushing it over, of course, you want to be aware of where your axe is, hold it out from you. You know all the safety rules, just follow them. That's the key to axe use. Alright, to get the tree loose, give her a couple whacks, and you're done. If you want to cut this stuff up right where you are, it's not quite as safe, so bear that in mind, but you don't have to have a chopping block or an anvil. What I'll do sometimes is I'll put one foot on the piece I'm cutting, I'll get my spot where I'm going to be cutting at, I'll note where my opposite leg is, and I'll move it out of the way. That way whenever I come through, if this axe comes through, there's nothing of me to cut. Okay, just same direction chop. See the chunks that's taken out? I'm not alternating or anything like that. I'm just cutting from one direction. Okay. Easy stuff, common sense. First thing you want to do, whenever you come up to a piece of firewood you might want, is check to see if you can push it over. If you can push it over, there's no reason to use this. Alright, let's say once again you're on the fly, you're not wanting to get a chopping block. You're wanting to section this wood up, and let's say you got a little bit bigger piece than what you feel comfortable with using no backing. What I do sometimes is I find a bigger tree and I use that as my chopping block. Once again, I put the foot there to steady the log, put the other foot behind the tree, and I chop right where there's going to be most resistance. Alright, now you want to split the wood up. You don't need a huge, big chopping block or an anvil, although it's better to have bigger if you can get it. Here I've just laid out two pieces that I cut off and one straight across from it. You've all seen this chopping technique, so this is nothing revolutionary. If you do it standing, just make sure whenever you come down, you don't bring it in an arc this way. Spread your legs apart, bend over, measure your distance, come up, and whenever you come down, come straight down. Alright, using the axe in combination with the saw. This is something I'll do from time to time. If you do this, just make sure your axe is driven in hard. You don't want this thing coming out on you while you're sawing and having the axe fall and get one of your little digits. So keep your feet out of the way. Make sure your axe is driven in as hard as you can get it in there. The idea of this is to be able to saw stuff up conveniently on the spot without having a sawhorse set up. Key here is light stuff. Common sense will tell you don't want to put an 8-inch log on this thing and have the axe come out. You also don't want to put it out on the end of the handle. The axe will come out. You also don't want to be sitting down doing this. The axe comes out, you can't get out of the way fast enough. I've got a scar on my index finger from doing just what I'm going to show. Coming down with the axe, trying to time it where you split the piece of wood and move your hand at the same time. Telling you what, man, that hand's a great target. For some reason you want to zero in right on that hand, and that's what I did. And a lot of people have done it. Don't let them tell you they haven't. I've seen it happen. But whatever you do, never ever hold a piece of wood and cut it with the axe in your other hand. You're just asking for trouble. Okay, that's all I got. There's not much to this axe game. A lot of people make you think that there is, but there's not. You don't have to have a license to run one of these things. It's all common sense. Be safety conscious. That's the first and foremost thing with any cutting tool. Be smart about what you're doing. I can't emphasize that enough. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't offend anybody. If I did offend some of the axe experts out there, hopefully it puts a fire under their pants and they'll put up a video or some pictures and really teach us something, because I do want to learn more than what I know. Thanks again.